Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. I am BrendenPlayz. Big show in store for you guys tonight as we are on the road to WrestleMania and specifically on the road to the Elimination Chamber 4 weeks away. This is the first Smackdown / main event after the Royal Rumble. As you can see, WrestleMania not too far away. We are getting closer and closer, so exciting times coming up ahead as we go ahead and check out this week's main event. So we have the Usos. They're going to take on Los Matadores, and as well as that, we're going to have Daniel Bryan versus Rob Van Dam. Now you go back to the previous episode of Universe Mode, Daniel Bryan, he took on John Cena, and RVD took on CM Punk. Both of those matches were Elimination Chamber qualifying matches where the winners would go into the Elimination Chamber. Both Daniel Bryan and RVD lost. As well as that, we had the Big Show versus Antonio Cesaro. Now we're going to do something a little different. Normally you're probably thinking, oh, I'm going to play Daniel Bryan versus RVD. I'm going to play the tag team match. So we'll give the tag team guys a bit of a look in today. So we'll go ahead and play that one. And so the two losers, Daniel Bryan is the better out of the two as he defeats Rob Van Dam. And the Big Show knocks off Cesaro, the former World Heavyweight Champion. The Big Show, big victory over Cesaro there. So as you do know, or if you didn't watch the previous episode, we are doing Elimination Chamber qualifying matches for both Raw and Smackdown. So this week's Smackdown will feature some Elimination Chamber qualifiers as well. So that's a big victory in the context of the big picture because the Big Show, and I would assume Big Show and Cesaro would both be in that qualifying. I wouldn't say it's a tournament or anything like that. They'll probably get a qualifying match, no doubt. So the Usos, these guys are certainly up and coming and certainly on the rise to a tag team championship opportunity. In recent weeks, they've been getting some good victories, but they haven't been able to build that consistency together to really get themselves in the title hunt. The Primetime Players have been beating everybody, everyone there is to beat. The Primetime Players have been beating them. So all these tag teams are now coming together, trying to really get ahead of everyone else to get themselves in the mix for the title shot against the Primetime Players. Because the PTP are so good, I think whoever can knock off the Primetime Players in a non-title or even a title match, certainly gonna have to work really hard for it because they are on a roll at the moment. And we will play this one, and we're gonna play as the Usos. So the Shield will probably get a tag team championship rematch at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. They haven't had their title rematch yet, so I'd say they'll get a title rematch clause, and the Authority will look after them well as they are an associate of the Authority. So I believe the Shield will probably be getting a rematch and probably going to work it in their favor somehow. So I think we're all a bit stunned that they actually lost the tag titles, but looking now, I think the Primetime Players certainly deserve to be the champs because they are beating everyone, like I said. So who can really stop the Primetime Players? It really was the situation who could stop the Shield, but the Shield in recent months have started to lose a little bit more frequently than they would have liked. So their momentum is certainly dropping down, and you could see them losing the titles in the very near future. That's exactly what happened to the Primetime Players. Now they're on a whole new level since they become the champions, and even before that. So it's going to be tough no matter who takes them on. I would dare say it will be the Shield, but the Usos and Los Matadores, they could certainly come away with a win here and get themselves in the title picture. It's all a matter of momentum and beating the right people. So hey, if the Usos can get a match against the Shield and beat them, maybe the Usos will get an opportunity. So we'll have to wait and see as this match goes to the outside. One half of the Usos here is taking down one half of the Los Matadores. So this is going to be a tough match to determine who's who in this one because everybody kind of looks the same, don't they? Obviously the Usos, one has different face paint compared to the other one. But certainly in the Los Matadores... Oh! I'm going to just do what JBL does and say, Uso off the apron with a flying forearm or a punch or whatever he did. So I'll do a bit of a cop-out there. So almost a count-out. I think, well, one of the Matadors sent flying through the steel steps. So we got an Uso and a Matador in the ring. Who they are, we got no idea. But we'll just go off that. So this match, bit even so far. I mean, Usos certainly were on top, using those stairs to their advantage, but now the Matadors have got themselves back in this one, and we're going to see a tag being made here. So a good opportunity for these guys to really impress and get themselves in the mix here on main event. So I hope you guys have been enjoying Universe Mode, especially the Royal Rumble. That was a great success. So I really appreciate it, all the support and the love there. And oh, Samoan drop taken down to the mat. That could be it. Might be looking for a cover here. That certainly could finish him off. So yeah, just appreciate all the support in recent videos, and I appreciate everybody that has signed up to my website's forums as well. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. We've actually got some good wrestling chat going over there, so if you want to check that out, I'm going to be plugging it every episode, so you guys better just sign up for the sake, just so you can shut me up. Once we get enough members to satisfy myself, then I'll stop, then I'll shut up about it. But it is in the description down below if you want to join up. And the Usos might be in a little bit of trouble here. And now working down the leg, good idea there. Ground the Usos. They had that high-flying, fast-paced style. If you can ground them and stop their speed, that's certainly going to work to their advantage. But both these teams have very similar styles, so I guess, you know, either one would. I don't think they'll really mind if these guys quicken the pace up, because it's going to suit either one of them. As one of the Matadors is now. Oh, well, he's in the corner, and the other one's down on his back outside. So very close one here, back and forth one here as it's taken down. Oh, I thought it might go for a pinfall there. Probably could have been it. Could have been it there. As another counter, taken back down to the mat, and he's up top. What's he gonna do here? Uh-oh. Oh, splashdown. That could be it. Goes for the cover. Yes. The other Matador's out of the picture. 2, 3. That's it. And the Usos, they get a valuable victory here on main event. They needed that one. That's a massive victory for them. And could this be the start of the Usos getting momentum and building themselves up to become the next WWE Tag Team Champions? Elimination Chamber coming up. Don't forget WrestleMania coming up too. So the Shield don't win at the Elimination Chamber. We need to find out who's going to be the next guys in line at WrestleMania. So the Usos, they could be thinking about the bigger picture here. Alright, maybe Elimination Chamber's not outside, but why don't we do it at the grandest stage in the mall, WrestleMania? Sounds good to me. So, good match there, and we'll go on and move on to main event. Yep, these guys are on the same page. They had a bit of an altercation a few weeks ago, but they seem to sorted that all out now, and they are certainly on the same page, and they're ready to go. Could they be the next Tag Team Champions? We'll have to find out very soon. So, that's it for main event. Let's go ahead and check out this week's Smackdown. You have got to be kidding me. That's the animal. That's Batista, and he is back right here on Smackdown. And you have to go back to the Royal Rumble where we saw him return, and he came out at number 38, and he was not quite able to get the job done. He was one of the final 2 men remaining in that match, and unfortunately for Batista, Randy Orton got the better of him in the end. But Batista is back here on Smackdown. And why exactly did he choose Smackdown? I'm sure both brands approached him. So why exactly is Batista here on Smackdown? I'm sure we will get all the answers we need in a moment's time. But it's great to see Big Dave back here in the WWE. And you guys love seeing him in the Royal Rumble. Maybe we'll see him in the Elimination Chamber. That might be why he's back. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and find out what he has to say. Oh my God, it feels good to be back home in the WWE. You know, Randy Orton, he may have eliminated me at the Royal Rumble when I came in and I was one of the final 2 participants. But Randy Orton, the SmackDown GM, he sorted me out a deal, and he gave me a great deal to come back and wrestle here full-time on SmackDown, and that was an offer I could not refuse. I was approached by Paul Heyman as well to come to Raw, and Triple H, everybody wanted me to go to Raw, but I said, SmackDown is my home. SmackDown's where I belong, and I want that big gold belt back around my waist. So Randy Orton, he sorted me out quite nicely because he's giving me a match tonight in these Elimination Chamber qualifiers. He's going to give me a match, I believe, against Christian. And if I beat Christian, I will get myself in the Elimination Chamber match, which means Ryback, your days as champion are numbered. Because I'm better than you in every single way possible, and you need to deal with that. Because at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, you will find out exactly what Well, it's great to meet the man himself, the king, the champ, Ryback. No, Ryback, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Because for the last 4 years, you've been keeping that championship warm for me, ready to go back around my waist, feeling good, because at the Elimination Chamber, your days as champion are numbered, because I'm going to win that championship belt. I don't care what you've done in the past, Batista. I don't care who the hell you think you are. I don't care about the career that you've had. The fact is, you are now on my show. This is not your show anymore. I'm the king around here. In Elimination Chamber, if you manage to get in that match, then I'm going to send you back home packing where you belong. Go back and make some more crappy movies, because you don't belong in my ring, and you certainly don't belong here on Smackdown anymore. And if you need a reminder at the Elimination Chamber of just what I can do, then I'll give you one. Deal with it. So Batista has been back for 5 minutes, and he's already made an enemy in the World Heavyweight Champion Ryback. So not a good start to Batista's new run here on SmackDown. But speaking of SmackDown, let's get straight into it. Chris Jericho versus Sheamus is our opening contest on tonight's show. And as well as that, the former Divas Champion Summer Rae looks to take a bit of frustration out on Brie Bella after her loss at the Royal Rumble. Triple threat match as well. Damien Sandow will take on Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. A bit of an IC title contendership match perhaps. The first of our 2 Elimination Chamber qualifier matches, Alberto Del Rio, he will face Antonio Cesaro. Big match up there for both of those men. Cesaro, he just recently lost to the Big Show. He needs to rectify that loss. As the primetime players, they'll face the New Age Outlaws, of course the PTP, the new tag team champions. And Christian, he has the monumental task of trying to defeat the animal, Batista, who has been unleashed. And can he continue his good momentum coming off the Royal Rumble? And can he beat Christian to get himself in the Elimination Chamber match? That is the second of our 2 qualifying matches. So let's get straight into it. Chris Jericho versus Sheamus. Sheamus with the victory. Probably an upset there. Jericho, he had the world title match at the Royal Rumble, and he's continuing to lose. Can't win the big one, Chris Jericho. Summer Rae knocks off Brie Bella. Triple threat matchup. We have Damien Sandow. He comes away with a victory. So good stuff there from Sandow. The first of our 2 qualifying matches. Can Del Rio finally get himself back in the world title picture against Antonio Cesaro? Yes! Del Rio, I think an upset there, has defeated Antonio Cesaro, and for the first time since Vengeance, Del Rio will have a world title shot at the Elimination Chamber as the primetime players. They beat the New Age Outlaws, so that's a big victory there for Alberto Del Rio. Like I said, he has not been a part of the World Championship scene for quite some time. All the way back since Vengeance, he had a match against the Big Show, and he lost. Of course, as well as that, he had a match at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, so nearly a year ago. And he lost that one as well, which is a bit of a classic actually in our universe mode. That one, it was certainly one of the most memorable matches we've had, because if you go back to that, Del Rio beat the Big Show to an absolute bloody mess. The Big Show was destroyed. It was an Extreme Rules match. The Big Show was absolutely destroyed in that one. Del Rio was so dominant, and the Big Show somehow, some way won the match. It was unbelievable. And Batista, here he is. He is back on SmackDown, ready for his first match on SmackDown in many, many years. The first time on Universe Mode we will see Batista in one-on-one action. He returned at the Royal Rumble, of course. Fantastic to see him back. Came so close to defeating Randy Orton and getting himself in the main event of WrestleMania, but he still has another opportunity of getting himself in that main event if he can beat Christian tonight, and if he can win the world title at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. He will get himself back on top of the world, and perhaps he can dethrone the King Ryback. As Batista, he has been unleashed. The animal is back here on SmackDown. Fantastic to have him back. And Christian has the monumental task of trying to beat Batista to get himself in the world title match at the Elimination Chamber. And to be fair with Christian, he hasn't exactly been, a pushover. In recent weeks, he's been dominant. He's actually looked very, very good. He lost a match against Rey Mysterio to get himself in the IC title match at the Royal Rumble, but other than that, he really has looked very, very good. He's been plowing through the competition. He's going to be a tough opponent for Batista here. I think Batista, he could go down in this one because Christian, he's a veteran. He's been around for a long, long time, as has Batista. But Christian, he's been going at it week after week after week. He's ready to go. He's got great momentum behind him, and Batista could have a bit of ring rust and could get caught out here by Christian. So Christian, he's got the biggest opportunity so far in Universe Mode to get himself in the world title picture here. And here we go. He's had a few occasions where we thought he may elevate himself up to that spot. He's been so close on a few times, but he just hasn't been able to clinch it, just hasn't been able to grab onto that brass ring and get himself where he needs to be. So this is a good opportunity, but he has to beat Batista, who's full of life. He is back, he's ready to go, he's pumped up. This is going to be so difficult for Christian to overcome these odds, but he can do it. There's no doubt about that, as he reverses a maneuver there from Batista. These guys going at it here. Christian fighting for his career, I believe. Because, you know, he couldn't win the IC title. You know, he couldn't get himself in that matchup. If he can't get himself in the world title picture, where does Christian go from here? You know, maybe he might be the next guy to face Wade Barrett if he can continue winning some matches, but he's going to have to... I believe, you know, I would honestly say if he doesn't beat Batista here, that could really hurt Christian's momentum. He could certainly go on a bit of a downward spiral, like we've seen some other guys been doing after a few big losses, like Cesaro. You know, couldn't get himself in the world title picture. Now he's losing week after week after week, and he won't be a part of the Elimination Chamber match either. So, oh, Batista takes Christian down with a spine buster. Vintage Batista, he takes down Christian, and he gets the pinfall. That is it. Batista has upset Christian very, very early on here. He has defeated Christian, and he will be a part of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view match, absolutely squashing Christian here. And the animal has certainly been unleashed. He is back. He's ready to go. And will he walk out of the Elimination Chamber as our next World Heavyweight Champion? Time will tell. But this man, he is certainly looking good, and I tell you what, Ryback has got his work cut out for him, as does Del Rio and 3 other men. Who will they be? We'll find out in future episodes of Smackdown. But Batista, he is back, and he's ready to go. So guys, that will do it for this week's edition of Smackdown. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you please leave a like on the video. And if you haven't already, you have to subscribe to the channel for more Universe Mode videos, GM Mode, wrestling discussion as well. Speaking of wrestling discussion, go join up to the forums, follow me on social media, and I will see you next time.